What's happening, Jets fans? What's the matter? What's the matter, everybody? Welcome to Greenbean's Jets Pod. I am Green Bean. I am excited to be here. I am. I've been tossing it around all night, man. I made a video last night. I've been talking to people. I got this show, that show, these texts, that text, DMs. I read the entirety of Jets Twitter. I read it all. If you wrote something on Jets Twitter, I read it. If you're on Jetnation, I read it. And I've come to some conclusions. I'm going to share them with you, and I can't take a smile off my face, even though I'm unhappy about the results, just like you are. But I'm going to give you some stuff, man. I'm digging. I've been digging. I've dug deep. I found some things, and I'm going to show them to you. But before we do, can I just let you know that the best thing you could do is like this video. I'm telling you, you're going to feel good about it. There's a little red button. Hit that button as well. That is the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me further, if you like what I do and you think, hey man, let me help that guy out a little bit, my Patreon information is in the top of this description of this very video, and that would be greatly appreciated as well. We do appreciate it, and I thank you in advance for all that you do for me. Man, we spent the whole day together, a whole big batch of us got on Jetnation's YouTube page, and we did it, didn't we? We got through it, didn't we? We were excited, we were screaming, we were yelling, we were typing as loud as we could. From the word go, we were using words like disappointing. That was disappointing. And it was disappointing. But here's the thing. I want to lay it out bare, okay? Let's lay it out as bare as we can, from point A to point Z, and we'll see how we really feel, okay? Feelings are wacky, man. Don't forget, emotions have no logic, none. Think of all the times you've based a decision on emotions. You're like, oh yeah, Officer O'Reilly, well let me tell you something. Yeah, never works out. Emotions are illogical things. I'm gonna just start with this, and I owe you guys a serious and sincere apology. I started the day with the wrong jersey. The wrong jersey. Now, I've had that jersey for a long time. I love it. I love that jersey. But I knew its mojo. I started thinking that I wore it all preseason, that maybe it got a new, fresh Robert Saleh coat of paint. It was wrong. So for the first half, I wore the wrong jersey. Right at halftime, right at the beginning of the third quarter, I went and grabbed this one. This one right here. This one is fresh. This one's never been to a game before. This one is clean. Has no Adam Gase on it. It has no Ken O'Brien, Browning Nagel, Johnny Lamb Jones, Don Boyd Odegaard. None of it's there. So I went and I put this on, and that was the second half that we saw. I did my part, but I'm sincerely sorry. It shan't happen again, I promise. When you guys meet me next week at the home opener at MetLife Stadium, and I do hope to meet all of you. Any one of you that's there, I hope we get a chance to meet. I'll be sitting with O'Leary, and we'll be hanging out in Lot J. I'll be at Jetnation's tailgate. I'll be at Gotham City's tailgate. And I hope to meet all you guys. But you're going to see this jersey right here. This is the one. This is the one. All it has to its name is the second half of the game. Not too bad. 14-3 Jets so far. I'm telling you. I know how this shit goes, man. Pardon my language. So that's that. That's letter A. That's square one. I needed to apologize. It's been bothering the hell out of me. Okay? You know how it is. I know O'Leary will tell you. He's got the chair. We have our stuff. And that's the thing. So the Jets lost, right? 19-14 against Sam Darnold, Robbie Anderson, Matt Rule, and the Carolina Panthers. 19-14. Let me just say a couple things. Number one, it is possible that the James Morgan effect was a little bit more impactful than maybe we gave it credit for initially. It's possible. In addition to that, and we'll talk about Mike LaFleur in some detail, there was also it was being said that Mike LaFleur from the field was calling out the plays without covering his face or any of that stuff. And they could have been, James Morgan already told them our entire vernacular and our terminology and everything. So if they see what LaFleur's saying, maybe they got that edge. In addition to it, so we got some sneaky, shady stuff going on right now. In addition to that, did you guys hear about the number changes that they did right before the game? Matt Rule held off. He got it cleared on Wednesday to change the numbers of his players. And on Wednesday, the NFL approved it, but he changed it. He said it on Sunday morning or Saturday night or something like that. So he wanted that competitive advantage too, not knowing who's who, not knowing which guys that he had lined up where. So, I mean, look, you can't blame a guy for wanting every competitive edge, but when you're playing a team with 7 rookies, first-time head coach, all that stuff, do you really need to do that shit? If that's true, I hope karma comes and bites him right on the bottom of his ball bag. That's what I hope. That's what I hope. I don't care. I don't care that somebody's offended that I want karma to bite him in the balls. I don't care. That's what I want. If it's true. If it's not, then we're fine. We're good. You just beat us. But here's the thing. We lost 19-16. We faced our former quarterback, and people were waiting. Is it a revenge game? Is he the same old Sam, right? Now, let's be honest here. Again, I'm going to try to lay it bare for you guys today. Did Sam look great? No. Did he look good? Yes. Yes, he did. He looked like, thank God they have a guy named Christian McCaffrey, and he better stay healthy all year, because Sam needs him. But if that's their offense, man, if that's their offense, Sam, all we want you to do is toss it, little screens and things like that, and then 4 or 5 shots a game. Then Sam Darnold might have found the place where he belongs. And I mean that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Except the fact that we should have done a much better job not letting that happen. Now, can you stop C-Mac? No, you can't, man. I'm telling you can't stop that guy. He's elite, is the word. Probably the best running back in the league. Probably. If not, he's top 2 or 3 in the entire NFL. You know, that batch of people that are the best at this sport on the planet Earth. He's the best out of them, or among the top 3. So you're not going to stop him. But what you can do is rattle that damn quarterback of his, and we didn't do that in the first half. Again, we'll get into all this. So Sam Darnold looks okay. We got to see the most painful thing. Look, anything could have happened. The one play I didn't want to see, we got to see. We got to see it, didn't we? Sam to Robbie, 57-yard touchdown. Yep. So, when you look at all this stuff, 57 yards to Robbie Anderson, come on. We couldn't know this was coming and just stop it. We got a flat-footed safety 8 yards behind him. Like, how do you anyway. So, we got some maximum Jets pain for us. Like the universe, the Jets curse, whatever, it does that to us. Like, what would be the most painful thing? Let's have them punt. Have their punter get crushed so badly that it's a legitimate potential knee injury here. He gets really hit, not a fake punter hit. But they're going to get called for holding, so they don't even get the ball back. Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes for us. So, we got a quarterback. He throws 20 for 37, 43 dropbacks, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, and he ran it in for a 2-point conversion. Not too bad. So, their quarterback, we talked about him, looked pretty damn good. Not great, but he looked good enough. Our quarterback looked like he was running for his life, scared, literally running for his life. 6 sacks, threw a ill-advised pick. But I got to tell you something. Underneath all that, looked pretty friggin' good. He looked pretty good. What was one of the main concerns with Zach Wilson coming into the draft? No pressure. I said it 100 times. I don't know what he's going to, I don't know. He's never pressured this guy. So we saw what he looks like under pressure. We got it out. We saw what he looks like when he takes hits. I was listening to a radio show on Sirius XM the day before the game. They said it's going to be really interesting to see if Zach Wilson's, and this is what they said, little frame can take an NFL hit. Oh, I wanted to reach through the radio. Little frame? I mean, the comment is, I'm with it, but I don't like that. Don't talk about my guy like that. Little. What did we see? He couldn't take a hit. We don't want to keep seeing him take hits, but he can take it. So Zach Wilson impressed the living hell out of me. Got a quarterback, ran for his life, got beat up, all those things. The guy looked good. Okay? So, the story, if you just look at it from the surface, it looks like the Jets got killed. We got beat up all game. And we suck. But I venture to suggest that's not really what we saw. Okay? Now again, I've been thinking, I've been listening, I've been reading, I've been watching. And I have come to some very real conclusions. Conclusions, man. I know what I watch. Just like you know what you watch. We're watching football. We know football. And what I saw from the word go was 7 rookies starting, 3 second-year players, a rookie head coach, and a rookie offensive coordinator, and a line that's never played together in a game before. That's what I saw. Now, is that an excuse? Some will hear it that way. I don't see it like that. When we had the expectation that we were going to go in there and dominate the trenches, I still think that we could have, and we didn't. I still think we could have, and we didn't. I get it. I'm not happy about it. But when you look at the way the game started, we're missing line stunts on the offensive line. Simple stunts. Nothing, I wouldn't call it exotic. Now, I didn't dissect the game yet, so maybe I'm a little off. But from what I saw, didn't look exotic. It looked like standard stunts. When you're unable to pick up a stunt, when you help out the guard over here and then you realize another guy over here and then you got to go, it looks like you're getting beat, but it's not like that. It's schematic errors. Not understanding where you're supposed to be, your assignment. That's what we're watching. So when I see stuff like that, and then I see a quarterback throw a pass over here and it's dropped. I see him toss it over there and it's dropped. I see nobody block Burns, their best pass rusher. Nobody even looks at him. What I'm seeing is nerves, anxiety, confusion because of the things I just mentioned. Now, that's real. That's real. Now, I still expected, I knew that we were going to watch sloppiness all over the place. I knew it. I still expected to have a secure enough game plan that we could run the ball and that we could rattle Sam. In the first half, we saw neither. Why? The things I just mentioned. On offense alone, we had 3 rookies at key positions. Quarterback, left guard, wide receiver. And running back, but he didn't start. Okay? So 4 really. And what I saw was a bunch of young guys that were afraid to be in the NFL. It was too big. They couldn't calm the nerves, jittery. You know when a guy like Elijah Moore drops 2 passes. Granted, one was pass interference. I'm not even getting into that. I'm not even go there. I got to at least say it, but I'm not going to go there. Okay? Landed in his hands, he should have caught it. When Elijah Moore is not catching passes, it's nerves, man. That's what it is. So when you look at all this stuff, the reality is we started 7 rookies yesterday, and there were more rookies that played. 3 guys are in their 2nd year. 2 of them undrafted free agents. What we need to understand is that that's what we should have seen yesterday. What we watched was more realistic than the things we were hoping would happen. Now, if that first half, which was garbage, up and down, and all around, garbage. The only thing that was redeeming was our our punt coverage, and the Amendola came in and just magically did what he did. Other than that, it was garbage. When you watch a team, 7 rookies, 3 second-year guys, undrafted free agents, all that stuff, guys filling in for injuries. We had Redwine and Lawson. They've been with the team less than 2 weeks. All right, when you have that concoction, the first half should be sloppy. We saw it, and then they went in the half, and what happened, guys? We saw an entirely different team. Now, they weren't clean. It wasn't over. Zach was still getting chased. He was getting beat up, but it slowed down. The defensive line started getting pressure on Sam. What happened? He started missing the guys like we knew he would if he got pressure. He missed a whole bunch of passes in the second half of the game. When we came out at the half, it was 14-3. New Jersey, everybody's fresh. 14-3 Jets. Why? Because they made adjustments. They reacted. They responded, which they were unable to do on the fly in the game. They just weren't. More than likely because they're all green. It's moving fast. What the fuck? What's happening? Why is nothing I drew up working? How do they know my plays? As he's yelling them out and like, here it is. James Morgan's like, yeah, what that is this. I'd like to see if there was a camera on James Morgan, how much if he was in Rule's ear. It's anything weird like that. But so the tale of the game is starting like we started, and the fight, man. I am proud of this team. I am proud of how Robert Saleh mid-game became Robert Saleh. Did you see him? Running up and down the field, jumping up and down, screaming and yelling. He couldn't contain it anymore. Now, Robert Saleh is probably going to take a little while to become the head coach that he is. He's probably trying to be what he thinks he's supposed to be. And that's fine. You can't just be a defensive coordinator head coach. We've seen that. It doesn't work for too long. So we want you to be the CEO. At the same time, don't change who you are, man. And that's going to take a minute. How does the passionate get-back coach needing Robert Saleh keep that energy while still being organized enough to be a head coach? It's going to be a second. So we came out in the second half, and we fought our asses off, and we got close. We made that a game. 2 touchdowns. And he ran in. So Zach Wilson threw for 2 touchdowns to Corey Davis, and he ran in a 2-point conversion. Dude, too little, too late. Too little, too late, but it was there. And I'm happy to build on it. When I talk about nerves and all that stuff, and I mentioned it in the video I already put out. I put it out this morning, but I made it, whatever. The vid I already did on this game. Okay. When you talk about nerves, and anyone who's played football knows this, and it happens in many other things, car racing, at any sport, for sure. It also happens when you're like a stand-up comedian or an actor, like you're acting in a theater. You got nerves, man. And then you walk out and you say the first line and it gets the reception you needed and you're cool. Everything calms down. The same thing goes on with football. You go out there, you drop your first pass, you drop your second pass. Holy shit, what's happening? Then you catch one and you get leveled. And now you're here. Okay, that didn't kill me. What the hell am I so scared of here? And it calms down. Anxiety leaves, adrenaline comes in, levels it off, and you become a football player again. It takes time. It takes a second. So that's what I watched. That's what I watched. I watched a team that was riddled with anxiety, nerves, fear, if you will. I don't think they were afraid of the Panthers, but just scattered anxiety and fear. And I watched them get smacked around, confused, no yelling at each other, no pointing fingers, no hanging of heads. And they came out in the second half, and they fought their asses off, and they made it a game. I'm proud of that. Now let's talk about the defense for a second. Why didn't we have a pass rush? I thought we were going to be dialed in on this Sam Darnold fella. Every play, somebody's hitting him. That's what I wanted. That didn't happen. But what did happen is the pass rush increased. We started getting there. We started pressuring him, getting push on the line. And the game slowed down for them as well. That aside, the area that I was most concerned with going into this game, where the largest concentration of our rookies resides, was our defensive backfield. We had Brandon Echols, Michael Carter II starting, Javelin Guidry playing, and second-year pro Bryce Hall as the only guy out there with any experience in our cornerbacks. So here's their stats. Michael Carter II was targeted 5 times, 3 catches for 17 yards. Bryce Hall was targeted twice, 1 catch for 9 yards. Bryce Hall shut his man down yesterday. Now it's zone, so I don't want to say it's one guy. Maybe they had him on a guy. I didn't look at it at that level yet. I intend to. 2 targets, 1 reception, 9 yards. Brandon Echols, 5 targets, 3 receptions, 26 yards. So far, pretty damn good. Not what I expected. Javelin Guidry, targeted 4 times, 3 receptions for 37 yards. Out of the batch, the worst. Still not terrible. And he had that really important open field tackle. Got to give it to him. So our defensive backs played very well, guys. Very well. I'm going to tell you this. Without Christian McCaffrey, and it's fine because he's there, but without him, he was the one guy we really couldn't contain. That falls on the linebackers, but guess what? 2 out of 3 of them are rookies. CJ Mosley was flying around, and Jamien Sherwood got hurt. So it's one of those things. When you look at it from this vantage point, again, 2 rookie linebackers, 2 rookie cornerbacks, a second-year cornerback, and then we have 1 veteran linebacker in that batch, and then you got a safety back there. They played very well. We should be very encouraged with what they brought to the game, man. And I personally am. I'm looking forward to their growth. Now, it's not going to be that way every week. Just because they were playing well, this doesn't mean that's going to happen next week. Who knows what happens to them. But they showed they belong on an NFL field, at least for now. And I'm very encouraged by our defensive backs. That was the story for me on the defense. Look at all the rookies back there. We started all those rookies and second-year guys, and we looked that good. I mean, there was the Robbie Anderson thing. Technically, it was on the safety. There was only a couple blown plays in the whole game. Christian McCaffrey took over this game. That's it, and we knew that was possible. We were hoping he was rusty. I'm gonna share something with you. Very little rust on Christian McCaffrey. That guy's as good as they come. So now we have some injuries. And this seems to be, this is the tale of the last 3 years now. Look, I made videos. I was so happy to see what Joe Douglas did with the medical staff, and we addressed it. We're paying attention. We're not just pretending it's bad luck. We're addressing it. I'm still happy with all that. But damn, man. We lost LaMarcus Joyner for the season while Ashton Davis is hurt. Now, maybe Ashton Davis can come back next week. I don't know. I hope they don't have to rush him. Because you know what happens when you do that? We saw it last year with Mosley. Saw it last year with Becton. So we lost LaMarcus Joyner for the season. Elbow, torn ligament. It's crazy. We lost Jamien Sherwood. I don't know how long he's out. But he was out for the game. He got injured. We can't lose these guys. We're already decimated. And then we lost Mekhi Becton, who was having a difficult day. And it looked to me like Mekhi Becton was confused. He had some really nice blocks. Really nice. He had some really bad clams, man. Really bad. There was one sack in particular where In my opinion, you should have just grabbed him by the jersey and held him. You don't let your quarterback get crushed like that. But Mekhi Becton goes out. Now, the good news here is that we thought it was season ending. You saw he was basically crying. They were praying. It was crazy. So we find out that he had a dislocated kneecap, which probably felt, I never had a dislocated kneecap. So that probably felt severe. It's like, pop, oh man, it's over. Found out it was a strained ligament, not a torn ligament. So he's out 4 to 6 weeks. That's good news, considering. But man. So what are some positives there? The positive is this. And this is where we can look at a general manager like Joe Douglas and be happy. Okay, we had 3 NFL starting caliber tackles, and we have a decent backup. We have 2 decent backups. One's on IR. The fact that we're going to be able to still start 2 NFL caliber tackles is testament. Dude, at some point it's coaching. We're stocked. We got him. So now we have Morgan Moses and George Fant. Now, I don't know why George Fant started over Morgan Moses. Listen, I'm going to break into that in a second. I have big problems with a lot of their decisions. And I don't know why they're doing certain things. But George Fant starting over Morgan Moses was a mistake, in my opinion. When Morgan Moses came in, from what I saw, he looked pretty good. That's when things started to calm down a little bit, at least to some degree. But guys, the injuries coupled with all the rookies and what we're doing, like, we know what this year is. We know it. We've talked about this. You know it. We've talked. You can't commit to 7 rookies and then some and think that you're going to dominate teams. It's just not real. Not week 1, week 2. It's early. So I am encouraged. I don't like the injuries. I'm grateful that for Becton that it's only strained and not torn. But there's a huge chorus that Becton's, I'm tired of Becton already with the injuries. Like, what do you mean you're tired already? He's been here 1 year. This is not, you know what I mean? He's been here 1 year. And he got rolled on yesterday. In my opinion, it looked like the guy jumped on his leg. That's just me. That's what I think. I saw it, I said, that guy jumped on his knee. Jumped on it. Now, it's not real. That's my brain. It's where it goes. But Becton got rolled on. It doesn't matter who you are. You get rolled on, you get rolled on. Your leg's going to pop out. And you got a 250-pound guy rolling on your knee while you're engaged. It's just, what happened? Now, it's freak. I would say it's more Jets luck than it is Becton. I would. Now, we don't know where it's going to go. Anybody complaining about Joe Douglas or Becton, you can be right. We don't know. But my whole point is it's way too early to establish those things with any real confidence. You could know it in your, look, that's the thing about making a statement. You got a 50% chance, always. With a yes or no. Either it is or it isn't, right? But in my opinion, it's way too early. And what we saw yesterday, guys, was really encouraging. I'm very, very happy with Corey Davis. I'm very, very happy with Zach Wilson. I'm very, very happy with our defensive backs. I'm very happy with our adjustments. I'm very happy with the passion, the fight in the second half. I'm very happy. There's a lot to be happy about. That was a game yesterday, and it didn't look like it should be. Now, people can say, oh, that's just Sam and or whatever, blah, blah. You can say all those things, but the truth is that we made adjustments, came out, played differently, and it changed the game. That's what happened. Now, it still sucks. The Sam Tarabi thing still sucks. It's always going to suck. That's the whipped cream on a Jets fan's turd cake. You know what I mean? Like, we always will experience that. Always. It's like when Jason Taylor comes to the Jet and goes back in Miami, you know he's going to sack it. You know it. Because that's our experience. It's the way it goes for us. Rex Ryan goes, we're playing Rex to get in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be maximum pain until we shake this. Now, what I see are guys that are doing things so differently that it's going to be botchy, messy, confusey, okay? It's going to be that for a while. But I saw it. I watched it. I watched the fight. I watched the no give up. And I watched them almost come back in that game with rookies and injuries all over the place. So, I'm psyched for week 2 at home. I'm not jumping off a cliff. I'm not done with the season. Somebody texted me, a friend said, I'm seriously not going to watch another game. I said, I'll miss you. So, see you, dude. I mean, I'll talk to you about other stuff, but that's, come on. It's 1 week into a 17-week season. The way I've compartmentalized it is this is the last preseason game, man. That's how I see it. This is that 17th week bullshit. You like that? That's what I did. So let's talk about what I think the big problem is, though, and how we're going to address this. Now, when you have a pass rush coming in as aggressively as the Carolina Panthers pass rush comes in, does anybody know how you stop that? Does anyone know? Everybody said, yeah, I know. Like, if you can't establish the run game, if you're trying to run and you can't do it, and their pass rushers are, because you're not running, are pinning their ears back, how do you diffuse that? How do you neutralize that? You let them come and you screen them to death. When they slow down, then you can start to do other things. Let them use their aggression against them. Okay? That's what you do, among other things. But we didn't see that at all yesterday. In addition to that, and I still think this is all going to it's all centralized to one issue. Tevin Coleman got the start yesterday. Fine. Don't agree with it? Fine. But why did Ty Johnson and Michael Carter have 4 rushes each when Tevin Coleman had 9? Tevin Coleman had 9 rushes for 24 yards for a 2.7 yard average. Ty Johnson had 4 rushes for 15 yards and a 3.8 yard average. Michael Carter had 4 for 6 yards with a 1.5 yard average. Dude, that's no way to get your boys into the game. It's no way to do it. Why are we using the old guy? My thought is because the Mike LaFleur, Robert Saleh could tell the young guys were balls of nerves. They were balls of nerves. He said, let's just calm it down, start the guy who's been here before. Let's start him. And that's what we saw. Now, again, I got a problem with the way that we handled their pass rush. If we're not able to block it with just our 5 offensive linemen, I want to see 22 personnel if you were going to keep Wesco in. If you're going to keep 2 backs for protection, I want to see 22. First things first. We got to stop them. If you're not going to dink and dunk them and screen them, then you start bringing in 12 personnel, 22 personnel. You start giving guys help. So I'm not happy with any of that. But again, what I'm attributing it to is the same damn thing. Mike LaFleur is his first time being the final voice on which plays get tossed in. He's always had Kyle Shanahan, always, his whole career. We're going to see that. Now, he made some adjustments, still not what I wanted to see. Now, what's the big problem? That's a huge one. You want to know what I'm going to say it is a bigger problem? What's this deal with Denzel Mims already? You better fucking tell us. Okay. You'd better tell us what the real story is and why you don't like this guy. Because every time he's on the field, he does something. You waited till the end of the 4th quarter to even get him. Jeff Smith was getting playing time. Did nothing. Jeff Smith and Berrios. Berrios, God bless him. But give me a break. They're not even in the same tier of talent. 1 reception, 40 yards. What's the deal, New York Jets? What's the deal, Mike LaFleur, Robert Saleh? What is it? He was physically able to play. We were getting decimated. We're getting beat up. And you needed something. You needed an energy swing. You needed something. And you got a 6'3" wide receiver with 4.3 speed standing there on the sideline while Jeff Smith and Braxton Berrios are running around. It looked like 2020 all over again. So, big problem. We got to figure out the play calling. We got to figure out the personnel. And we got to do it soon. But it's Mike LaFleur's first game as an offensive coordinator. So I'm just as upset as anybody else about this. But here's the thing. Long season. We need to understand all these words we're using, like evaluation year, development, all those types of words, they're real. And we're going to have to watch it. Saleh doesn't suck yet. He might. You know what I mean? We don't know. But what I saw was a team that went in the locker room at halftime, came out and fought their asses off and made it a game. Using Michael Carter, Denzel Mims, Corey Davis. That's what I saw. So we're going to go play the New England Patriots. I'm going to tell you something right now. This game was the nerves game. This was it. Elijah Moore dropping passes, Michael Carter dropping passes, Ryan Griffin dropping passes, AVT getting leveled, off balance, missing blocks, all those things. It's the nerve game. Let Mike LaFleur go upstairs too. That's where he feels comfortable. Let him go up there. Why do we got him on the field? Right? I don't know. What is it? It's the nerves game. Going into the Patriots, Bill Belichick's going to be licking his chops after this. He's going to be licking his chops. He's going to say, they have not picked up a single stunt. I am going to destroy this offensive line. And we have to see what we are made of. What can John Benton, Mike LaFleur, Matt Cavanaugh, and Rob Calabrese come up with? Those are our guys. That's who we got. Can we do it? I think so. Again, I'm encouraged. But Bill Belichick's coming in. And don't forget, he's 0-1 after missing the playoffs for the first time in 20 years or whatever it is. While Brady won a Super Bowl, he's hungry. Bill Belichick is as hungry as he's been in a long time. He wants to kill us. You know it. This is not pussyfoot time. You had your last preseason game. You had it. It's time to either simplify these things and start slower for the offensive line. If the concepts are too much, your quarterback's going to get hurt. Simplify it. And you guys got to know that. This is the game where I really watch Mike LaFleur and see how he bounces back. He's young. He's probably nervous as hell. Just being honest here. Seems like a nice, cool young dude, doesn't he? Seems cool. Zach Wilson got sacked 6 times, and you didn't figure out how to address it. This is the game that we start to figure that out. I'm excited. I'm in a good mood. I was encouraged. I like that we have Morgan Moses and George Fant when a left tackle goes down. I like that. I like our wide receiver depth. I think Denzel Mims should be wide receiver 2. 2. We'll get Jamison Crowder back, all those things. We got a lot to be excited about, man. Elijah Moore's not going to drop those passes like that. It's not going to happen. AVT's not going to get crushed like that. It's not going to happen. It's a short period of time. We got to be careful that we don't overreact to this because it's a long time. It's a long season. It's a long season. And if you think nerves aren't real, you're not paying attention. There have been guys that dominated in the college ranks who couldn't do it in the NFL. And it wasn't because of talent for a lot of them. They can't handle it. Cannot handle it. I happen to think that we can handle it. I think the guys that we brought in were brought in because of their ability to handle these things. We saw it in Zach Wilson. We saw it in the fight at the end of the game. We saw it. Keep your heads up, Jets fans. It's going to be fun. Watching an evaluation development year is frustrating. It is. There's no other way to say it. But you can flip it and look at it as exciting to watch these guys. We just got to keep Zach Wilson upright. That is the task of the coaching. And it just so happens to be it's their first rodeo too. So we got a cake. We got all the ingredients for a very specific cake. I'm just telling you, man. We have it. It's going to improve. Keep your heads up. Keep watching. Keep supporting. I'll see you guys at MetLife on Sunday. And go Jets.